I'm gonna start this off by saying I haven't been to many places, but I can at least tell you what kinds of stuff you can find in different parts of the US. Here are beautiful mountains and scenic vistas. Here are beaches for you and your family to vacation to. And here are, but what is this whole area? The only thing I know about the Midwest is corn and Stranger Things. Not a lot to go off of. I really wanted to know if this part of the US was overlooked for a reason or if it was underappreciated. So I booked a flight halfway across the country to find out. But as fun as it would be to aimlessly wander around a part of the US I've never been in before, I was lucky to have my friend Grazzy who lives in the Midwest. Over the next week, I would spend all of my time taking in the Midwest experience to see if the stereotype was true. Is the Midwest actually boring? To get ideas for what to do while I was there, I figured, hey, why not just ask the locals? So I got right to work. I put on my very serious business outfit and stood on the corner of the old market to ask people what I could do while I'm in Nebraska.
Something you have to go do?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't live here. I also
Oh. Okay.
I'm
Well,
also visiting, but let me think. I don't know. I haven't done very much yet since I've been here.
have you tried scooters?
I have. Scooters is alright.
Alright.
It's good. I have it in my hometown though, so I need something new.
There's something more important to film going on behind you.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Oh, whoa.
That's something you should do. Have you guys done that yet?
Thank you.
That's what you should do. Sure,
Oh,
you can,
wait,
like-
that's a task.
Yeah, bro.
You did it.
That's what you should do.
Yes. High five.
Go team.
Good job.
Yes. Have so much fun. Good luck.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Have a good one.
You were great. Is this fitting for Nebraska?
Pardon me?
Is this fitting for Nebraska? I'm new here.
Yeah, welcome, baby.
Thank you. I'll be here for about 10 days. What's something that you would recommend that I do?
I'd say the zoo's for people to check out.
So that's the Henry Dorley? Or Dorley?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
You too.
Is this fitting for Nebraska? Would you say this is fitting for Nebraska? Mind if I ask you some questions about Nebraska?
I'm alright.
Alright, you have a great day.
The dancing, bro.
Just go check out the Haymarket over there. It's kind of like this, but it's called the Haymarket.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
So I'm staying here for about 10 days, and I'm looking for things to do.
Passageway is a cool spot to check out.
What's that?
The passageway, it's like a couple blocks that way. It's like an indoor. There's like a bunch of shops and stuff.
Okay.
There you go. That's sure to draw people in.
Sometimes, an ear of corn doesn't always have his days, but this is what the grind looks like. I was actually starting to get into a rhythm with asking people the questions. Like, I felt like I was building confidence as time went on. Then this random kid came up to us and wanted us to record him skateboard. So we just followed him down the road and filmed him for a little bit. I gotta say, this kid has way more confidence than I can ever dream to have. Whoever you are, kid, I hope you grow up to be a professional. Go Cornhuskers! Yeah, Cornhuskers. I've never watched a single football game.
Right on the Iowa side, we have Hitchcock Nature Center. Really tough trails. I'm kind of a fat guy, so you know it's a really good workout. A lot of restaurants. Any type of food you want, you're going to be able to find here.
Wow, we were just looking for I think we needed a few more, but you just gave us a ton. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks, you have a great day.
You too.
With that, and along with some tasks we made up ourselves, we had 8 things in total that I had to do while I was in the Midwest. We even decided to lay them out on a bulletin board for organization. This is the finished board with all of the tasks, including a very special one Grazzy and I were both excited for and absolutely dreading. The task was to take a trip to Carhenge. What's Carhenge, you may ask? Well, it's Stonehenge made out of cars. It's the most stereotypical Midwest task on this list, and we were going to travel 7 hours there and back just to see it. The drive would take from before the sun would rise to well after it had set. Neither of us were ready for how difficult this would actually be. I was really excited to see what the Midwest had to offer, so after settling in a little more at the house, it was time to tackle the first task.
Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Hi.
Hi. About to go get some candy.
Explain, do a better job.
So there's a really good candy shop over here. Supposedly, I heard a lot about it. None of us have been, so we're gonna check it out.
Oh, but this was no ordinary candy shop. Nothing could have prepared me for what was inside. Needless to say, this had already been the craziest candy shop I had ever been in my life. We were so busy looking around at all the weird shit that it took us forever to find where the actual candy was. But when we did, I bought a Milka and it was very yummy. After the candy shop, we went into yet another shop. This one was filled with even more knickknacks and just random stuff that you could actually buy. And I also managed to find Alf again, and if that doesn't give you an idea of how random these shops are, I don't know what will. And while we were downtown, we decided it'd be a good idea to mark off on one of the tasks. And the closest one was the passageway.
I don't know if I'm allowed to film in here.
Use cameras, only phone.
Alright, so maybe I wasn't allowed to film. But I'm sure it was very nice. Look at these pictures. Look at these pictures I found on Google. Look very pretty. Then we ended off the day by going to Runza and Culver's, two food places that are staples of the Midwest. But I'm gonna wait to talk about these places because I want to talk about all the food in one section. This was a very jam-packed day. From going around asking people what I should do while I'm in the Midwest to actually going and doing them while we were in downtown, all of the crazy knickknacks we saw, and then to the food we had that night, it was a lot. We still woke up bright and early to complete our next task. Prehistoric putt. Prehistoric putt is putt centered around dinosaurs. And yeah, we're probably on the same page. I had no idea what to expect. Whoa, it's so big. Look how big.
You got this, bro. Let's see it. Where's it gonna come out? There it is.
Guess you can say I'm the champion because I got it on the hole.
What?
You can say I'm the champion because I got it on the hole.
Nice one. Nice one. Let's go.
I feel like I'm about to go Dino style. Honestly, I think Dino Putt was just okay. It wasn't crazy and it wasn't exclusive to the Midwest, so I didn't really get anything out of it. But it was nice to just sit back and hang out with my friend, especially after the day we had just had. We ended off the day by going to eat at a Mexican restaurant that I can't tell you anything about because I'm saving it for the food segment. Just know that I have some very interesting opinions about this place. Our next task was to go to the Henry Dorley Zoo, a zoo that's apparently the #1 in the US. So there's a lot of hype surrounding this place. What was most exciting about going into the zoo was seeing the massive dome from the outside. This dome was so big that you could see it while driving into town.
So the main event that we're gonna be hitting up first is the aquarium, and there's also a little butterfly house with a bunch of insects like big spiders and tarantula. We're gonna save the Desert Dome for the big finish. The Desert Dome was last.
There's a dinosaur. It's chasing us. After looking at all of the animals, it was finally time to see what was in the Desert Dome. I did not expect the sheer amount of animals to be in the Desert Dome. Not to mention the design of their enclosures were just so cool. In a way, the name kind of makes sense. It's the Desert Dome. It's the desert in a dome. I can definitely see why it's the #1 zoo in the US. We could talk about something.
Like what?
Like anything.
What are your thoughts on Donald Trump winning the election yesterday?
Oh. Oh, that, out of all the things, that's what you decided to bring up.
What do you think about everyone's rights getting taken away over the next 4 years? Usually fall hits a bit earlier than it did this year. Sometimes we've had snow on Halloween night. So.
That must have sucked.
Yeah.
Give me your chocolate bars. Oh, it's slipping up.
Yeah,
Slip on
then you
ice.
slip on ice and you die. But no,
I mean, that would have been spooky.
it would be spooky. People would think you're playing a prank on them and they just leave you lying dead on the floor.
There are a bunch of like bird feathers on the ground over there. Someone got mauled.
Oh. Well, I'm sure whatever was mauled came out okay.
Really?
I mean, did you find a corpse?
I like your sense of optimism. That,
Did you find a corpse?
Oh.
There you go.
I'm really glad we were given this task. This was the first task on the list that had us go outside of the city, outside of any crafted experiences. It was just us and the forest, and to my surprise, it was very eye-opening. Maybe this was the real Midwest, the simple Midwest, where you can drive for a little bit and be spat out into a beautiful autumn forest. But above all the beautiful scenery and the bird sounds was the time I got with Grazi. Not only in this one task, but in this entire trip. It literally wouldn't be possible without him, and I'm glad I got to spend this time with him. Anyway, you know who Slippin' Jimmy is? So, spoilers for Breaking Bad, but after the events of, the Walter White shenanigans, Jimmy jumps ship and moves to Omaha, Nebraska. The town I'm staying in. While the actual mall they filmed in Better Call Saul wasn't in Omaha, it was still modeled after it. So, I don't care. I'm gonna call this the Slippin' Jimmy Mall. Slippin' Jimmy!
Unfortunately, the Cinnabon that Saul worked at has closed down, so we can't actually visit the exact store.
Gene Takovic was right here.
Dude, shut up about that. Okay, buddy.
Gene Takovic is inside me.
That's awesome.
We should go to the store Gene Takovic robbed with those
Shut
those
up.
guys. Gene Takovic robbed that store right there. Gene Takovic probably walked past here. Gene Takovic wanted that hoodie, the teddy bear one. Do I look like Gene Takovic?
Yeah, you do.
Them, they know. They know I'm Saul Goodman of Albuquerque fame. I need to go to a clothing store and role play as Gene Takovic.
No.
Do you think Gene Takovic took that picture?
Yeah, he probably did.
Gene, are you in here?
He's looking for Gene Takovic.
What do they say? What is it? 4 dress coats for you. 2 shoes, all blue. Run. Get him. And then he goes to get him.
What are you? Bro.
It's probably really sketchy.
You do look really sketchy right now.
Gene Takovic sat right here and ate his Cinnabon.
That true?
Probably not.
You're being a public nuisance. Being a public nuisance.
Have you seen a Gene Takovic around here? Have you seen a Gene Takovic come by here? He's like balding. He works at Cinnabon. I think he doesn't know who Gene Takovic is. But maybe if I look him up and show pictures,
Yeah.
I can just zoom in really close. Have you seen this man? He's such a terrible image. Gene Takovic stole these.
I don't think he did.
He probably might have. He thought about it probably.
This guy is a public nuisance. I'm ashamed to be around this guy in public.
What if he's not here? Okay, so this guy has been going around like trying to steal stuff. I just want to say be careful.
Yep,
Yeah,
think so.
I just wanted to come warn you that this guy has been going around stealing from the stores.
Isn't that the one from Lonely Bones or Lovely Bones?
No, he's not an actor.
No, not at all?
No, he's just probably not. But this is what his eye looks like. Just be careful, okay? He's coming around. He's grabbing 3 shirts for you. 3. What is
It's true, I've seen him. I don't remember.
4 shorts. I don't know what he says.
Video evidence?
Yeah, look up Better Call Saul on Netflix.
Get me out of this mall. I'm sick of being here with this guy. I hate it. It's been the worst day of my life so far, watching this guy be a public nuisance.
Gene Takovic played this game when he got bored. This is Jenna, and she's gonna take us around the city with, okay, we wrote Doc and Flynn, and I don't remember which is which, so we went with either Doc or Flynn. Jenna was super nice, and she shared a lot of interesting lore about the city that Grazzy didn't even know. Like how a couple lives on the top of one of these floors in this building, and how some guy takes his pet camel to the park in the summer. We even got to know a little bit about Jenna and her interesting job as a horse carriage driver.
I seriously just get to play with like the best horses on this planet all day, every day. There's 11 of them for me to like love, and I don't know. It's like a kid in a candy shop, honestly. Honestly, like I've worked with horses my entire life. I've never been around happier development horses. They have 50 acres that they could be running around on, but no, they choose to stand right at the gate and body slam each other out of the way to get closest to you so they get chosen. I've never seen anything like it. And my absolute favorite thing is watching either a child or a really drunk person touch a horse for the first time. Every single one of our horses, but everybody that comes down here, like I don't know, it makes me really grateful that I got to have this experience my whole life and every day.
Yeah.
And it is really cool, like bringing them to you.
So do you see yourself working this job for like many, many years to come then?
Yeah.
It's good.
After the horse carriage, we had one last task to complete while I was in Nebraska. And it was by far the most difficult one. It was Carhenge. The agonizing 16-hour trip to see a pile of cars was ahead of us, and we were feeling pretty scared. What if we got stuck out there? It's all just a field. Nobody would be out there to save us. What if we got robbed or something? I don't know. Anything could happen, and since it's so far away from, well, anything, the stakes were intense. But we were both willing to do it for the content. Not only is Carhenge just a really funny idea, but the trip would also give me a sense of what most of the Midwest is like, since most of it probably isn't like a major city like Omaha. But before we get into what was one of the weirdest things I've ever done, let's talk about the Midwest food. Yeah, so what the hell is Runza? Google says it's a yeast dough bread pocket with a filling consisting of ground beef, cabbage or sauerkraut, onions, and seasonings. I'm gonna be honest, that sounds terrible. I had no idea what to expect when going into the restaurant, only that it's a Midwestern food. I got the classic sandwich and tried it. After tasting it for a little bit, I concluded that it was just okay. We did end up getting Runza a second time while I was there, so it's not that meh. It was just overhyped on my first try. Culver's is the better version of Dairy Queen. If you're ever in a Midwestern state, you have to try it. It was so rich, so creamy. I hear the food is mid though, so it's not too far off from Dairy Queen. The next place we went was a Mexican restaurant. The interior was actually really unique and a lot of effort was put into it. We started off really strong with the cheese sauce. I don't know what they put in here, but this is like the best cheese sauce I've ever had in my life. With such a strong start, I was really excited for my meal, but as it turns out, they put all the effort into the nachos. This was the worst Mexican I've ever had. The meat had the consistency of sand. I was so disappointed. Spin pizza was so good, I ate an entire pie myself. Sure, I regretted it shortly after, but not in the moment. The pizza was actually so good. If you're in Omaha, go to Spin. I got hungry during a live stream Graz and I were doing, so I decided to DoorDash from a random noodle shop. I was very impressed with the quality of the pasta. I don't know why, but it's so hard for restaurants to get pasta right. This place managed to get it very well. The only thing you need to know about this place is massive pasta bowl. I felt very sick after this trip. I don't know if I'm making connections where there aren't or if it's just a coincidence, but it seems like every restaurant I went to, the dairy products were always really good. Ice cream, cheese sauce, pasta, pizza, all some of the best I've had. Maybe the Midwest can do dairy really well and not much else. I don't know. The trip to Carhenge would take 7 hours, and along the way I'd be introduced to what most of the Midwest is actually like. Empty. On this trip, I saw the most nothing I've ever seen in my life. Some parts of the trip even felt like they were on another planet. Look at this and tell me it doesn't look like Glebtron 7 or something. What's funny is even the rest stops were acknowledging the emptiness. This stop was called Fat Dogs. You are nowhere. Also, they had gambling machines inside. This was surprisingly a common theme on this trip. I did buy this cute little disgusting cord magnet, so it wasn't too bad. The downside of taking this trip with a close friend is that they already know most of the things there are to know about you, so you run out of conversation so easily, forcing you to sit in silence for a majority of the trip. Not to mention the fact we were tired as hell and eating mostly goldfish for most of the day. It wasn't always empty though. Every now and then there'd be a small town, but I think calling them towns would be doing them too much justice. Look at these places. With each new town and them being further from a major city, it looked like it'd suck more and more to live in one of these places. There was one where nobody was outside at noon on a weekday. It was probably abandoned. We were approaching Carhenge, so we stopped at a small town called Alliance and we grabbed some Dairy Queen. This was probably the weirdest fast food place I've ever been in. The barn-looking exterior with a sign slapped onto it, the outdated menu, to the 80s music playing. It was like we were stuck in a time capsule. Like the town was stuck in a time period that had long passed. But after scarfing down my unflavored chicken sandwich, it was finally time to drive the last 10 minutes to Carhenge. The Midwest is not a boring place. If you go somewhere like New York and drive out into the country, of course it's going to be empty. Just because most of the Midwest is large and expansive doesn't make it boring. You just have to have a sense of adventure. Sure, sometimes exploring a city is fun. There was a ton to do in Omaha, but sometimes you have to drive 7 hours to see a pile of cars. That's the beauty of the Midwest.